got Izzy here, and I just wanted to show you her foot type first of all. This is going to be her third pair of point shoes. As you can see, Izzy has the gap between big toe and second toe, just like I've got, and therefore she wears toe spacers to correctly align the positions of her toes when she's on point, and to ensure that she doesn't have overlapping toes, and she keeps a very good straight alignment in her point shoes. As you can see, Izzy's first 3 toes are quite similar in length actually, and her last 2 toes really taper off. She has quite a broad metatarsal. It's not mega wide, but she is compressible. And then towards her heels, she gets a little bit more narrow. If you'd like to turn out to first position on flat, Izzy has a nice flexible foot as well, which we're about to see in a moment. If you'd like to rise on demi point, as you can see, very good flexibility. She gets a very high demi point. If you'd like to just roll back down, and then if you go side on parallel this direction for us, and then take a rise up onto demi. So due to her great ankle flexibility, we're always careful with the shoes that we put her in, otherwise she either bananas over too far, or the shoe alignment just generally doesn't work. Because a fitter, if you're a fitter and you're watching this, you'll know what I'm on about. And then if you roll back down, and then just face the bar for us in parallel, and then roll up again. And she's very even, she doesn't roll out or inwards. She's got quite a high arch, and then roll back down for us. Oh yeah, and also could you face us in parallel again? Yeah. And then turn out to first again. This time round, tendu your right foot and keep it out pointed so we can look at the shape. So as you can see, her break point of her arch is quite high up, and she's also got a very nicely defined instep. And then bring that one back, and then just go this way a little bit into the other foot for us. And again, you can just see her arch break's quite high. So with a point shoe, the shank has to be right into her arch to give her the adequate support we need. Thank you. Then bring your feet back. Great. So here's what we're going to do, show you some point shoes. So here's Izzy in Grishko or Nikolai Mile 1. In this shoe, it looks pretty. I would probably customise maybe a few things about it, because I think over time the vamp might be a little bit short. If you just stay that direction and take 5th position with the left foot in front, as you can see, she gets over very beautifully, but this shoe might end up being a little bit too flexible in shank, and the vamp might be a little bit too short for her, and she might spill out when they start to break in. If you just take a little bourrée, nice, and turn out to first position. So as you can see, Izzy has no problems getting fully over onto the platform. Take a 5th position, right foot in front, and take a little bourrée again. So it's a beautiful shoe, but I wanted to just show you guys again the difference of many models that can work, and then just relax for us. So the goal of these videos is show you how many models work, but also talk to you a bit about customization to make the shoes more perfect. So Mile 1 is very beautiful, but I feel like the vamp could just be a little higher, the wings a little higher, and the heel a little shorter to make it truly perfect. And here we have Izzy in Nova Pro. If you just turn out to first position, as you can see, it's much better support, because the longer vamp, the higher wings really pull her up a lot more, and she's not going too far over. Okay, if you just do parallel this way, and then step on to point. And as you can see, it's a much better position. She's not going too far, she's got a good alignment, and we can already begin to see that if she was to break these in a bit more, it's not going to be too crazy for her, and it's going to give her adequate support. Pop your left foot in front in a 5th position, and now from here just take a bourrée. Very nice. And then just come back down a second, and then face the bar for us in parallel, and then step up onto point. And take a turn out to first position. Very good. And now turn to parallel the other direction, and then step up onto point. Izzy, can you feel the difference in these compared to the last pair?
Yeah.
Do you feel more supported in these?
Yeah.
I can definitely see it. And let's take a 5th with the right foot in front. Beautiful. And let's take a little bourrée. Very nice. So that's Nova Pro. And here's Izzy in Nova Flex. So for those of you who don't know, the Nova Flex is the same as Nova and Nova Pro in terms of shape and everything else, but the shank is different. It has a much more easier demi point to achieve, and the shank itself has a much more kind of 3/4 shank feel. If you just turn that to first position, and as you can see, Izzy is still beautifully aligned in these. And then if you take parallel this direction, and again, she's not going over too far, and then pop your left foot in front in 5th. We get a little bit of extra heel with some shoes on Izzy because she has that flexible foot. So with a flexible foot, it means often when they point, their heel becomes a little bit narrower. So, or sometimes, as I've mentioned before, disappearing heel. So even though the length and width is correct, we get a little bit of extra satin, but it's nothing major, and we can solve that with ribbons and elastics. Or of course, if the dancer wants custom, we can cut it down. But in a custom order, we don't want to go too short with the heel that it ends up pinging off constantly. So there's a fine line between the heel height. If you just take a little bourrée, very nice, and then face the bar for us in parallel. And take a turn out to first position. Great, and then take parallel from the other side. And now take a 5th position with the right foot in front. Please excuse the noise outside, it's my neighbours in the garden. Take a bourrée again. Very nice, she's very pulled up and they look beautiful. So that's Nova Flex. Dreampoint 2007 pre-arched. I'm not going to tell you guys all the vital details between the models because we'll be here forever, and I've already made videos on my channel describing to you in fine detail about each model, so no worries about that. Turn that to first position. As you can see, these look actually similar to Nova on point because Nova is also built on 2007 last. If you turn this direction, and then let's take 5th position, and then let's take a little bourrée. Very nice. And now let's face the bar in parallel. So Izzy has had these before. This was her current pair she's got, and prior to that she had Nova Pro. Turn out to first position. Very nice, and parallel the other direction. And now take 5th position. And now take a little bourrée. Looking wonderful as well. Fab. And now we have Miracle. Miracle is also from the 2007 family, for those who don't know. If you take a parallel this way. Very nice. And take a 5th position. And take a bourrée. And now face the bar in parallel. And now turn out to first. And now do parallel the other direction. And now 5th position. And now bourrée again. So Miracle also looks wonderful on Izzy. We're going to have a hard time deciding what shoes to go for. And now we have 3007, which is the upgraded version of 2007. If you take a parallel this way, and then take a 5th position, and then take a bourrée. And now let's face the bar in parallel. And now let's turn out to first position. And now let's do parallel the other way. And now let's take a 5th again. And now let's take a bourrée again. Nice. To show you what standard Triumph looks like. It's not a shoe that I would necessarily put on Izzy, but we just wanted to show you guys what it looks like because I very rarely show it in a video. If you turn that to first position, this shoe is really broad. It's based on Flutter. It's great. It's very, very good for wider forefoot, higher profile feet. Take a profile, take a side on. As you can see, it's got a very high heel as well. So it's nice for a dancer with a fuller foot. And then take a fifth on point. And this is a hard shank. The shanks come up very flexible in these, hence why I've chosen a hard in this one. Take a little bourrée. But as you can see, Izzy already looks a bit sinky in them. Can you feel that, Izzy?
Yeah, I can really feel the box in them.
And sometimes I like to put a shoe that's not necessarily right for a dancer on, just so she can understand the, you know, the difference and what she should be looking for in a point shoe. If you face the bar for us in parallel, and then turn out to first position, and then do parallel the other way. And as you can see, it actually makes Izzy's foot look not as pretty and not as elongated. It doesn't show off her arch as well. It looks a bit puffy around the sides. Take a fifth position. And now take a bourrée. Yeah, so this is not a shoe that I would put Izzy in, but now we have plenty of shoes to decide on. Here's our short list. So we're now going to try them on and compare them and see which one is going to be the winner. So we've decided to go for Miracle point shoes this time round. It was a very close call. As you can see in Miracle, Izzy has great lateral support. The wings there are nice and high, encasing her beautifully. She's very pulled up. The vamp covers all her toe joints. She's not banana-ing, as I call it, too far over. If you just turn out to first position, and she's very nice and even on both feet here. And then if you do parallel this direction, and look how smooth it looks. It's just ultra smooth. And let's take a fifth. And now let's take a little bourrée. They look stunning. And now let's do fifth the other direction as well. Very nice. How do they feel, Izzy?
They feel really good.
It was very hard, wasn't it, deciding?
Yeah.
And let's bourrée again. Beautiful. So these are the winners. Thank you for watching, and as always, if you're watching this video on YouTube, please subscribe and rate the video, and any comments you have, pop them in the comments box below and I'll get back to you.